Wait, what do you mean our train was changed? I stared at Ryan Porter in disbelief as he casually sipped his cold brew at the boutique coffee bar in San Francisco. The morning sun cast golden light through the windows, but I felt a chill run down my spine. My name is Lauren Cassidy. I'm 29 years old and I've been married to Ryan Porter for 3 years. We were supposed to be celebrating our birthday with this dream trip to California, but something felt off from the moment we arrived. Derek had been acting strange, secretive about our accommodation plans, and dismissive whenever I asked about our return train details. "Relax, babe," Derek said with that grin I used to find charming, but now made my stomach twist. "I handled everything. We fly out tomorrow instead of today. Gives us more time to explore." I pulled out my phone to check our booking texts, but Derek quickly grabbed my wrist. "Trust me, I've got it all sorted. Why are you always so paranoid about travel details?" The word paranoid stung. I wasn't paranoid. I was responsible. Someone had to be, since Derek treated everything like a game, but I wanted to believe this trip could salvage what felt like our increasingly distant marriage. Maybe I was overthinking things. "Fine," I said, forcing a smile, "but can you at least show me the new booking confirmation? I like to have the details in my phone." Derek's expression darkened for just a moment before the smile returned. "Stop micromanaging everything, Marianne. Can't you just enjoy the moment? We're in freaking California." I felt the familiar knot in my stomach, the one that appeared whenever Derek made me feel like my reasonable requests were somehow unreasonable. He had this way of making me doubt myself, of turning my practical nature into a character flaw. "You're right," I said quietly, hating how small my voice sounded. "I'm sorry. That's my girl." Derek squeezed my hand, but there was something cold in his eyes. "Now, I need to run some errands this morning." Muted sunlight filtered through tall, weathered windows, casting a soft glow over the crowded gallery. Lauren Cassidy stood frozen near Botticelli's Primavera, her fingers tightening around her phone. The silence from Ryan Porter gnawed at her nerves. Every painted smile seemed to hide a secret she couldn't crack. Around her, whispers and footsteps blended, but her world had narrowed to the blank screen in her hand. An hour passed. No message, no call. The humid San Francisco air pressed down as she stepped outside, heart pounding. Was she overthinking? Or was something really wrong? Lauren's mind raced. Ryan's sudden distance felt like a warning she didn't want to hear. The city's usual buzz felt distant, like she was trapped in a bubble of doubt. She paced the narrow streets, the faint rustle of leaves underfoot barely grounding her. Her breath caught every time her phone lit up, only to reveal something else, not from him. Was her marriage cracking? Could she save it? Or was this the moment everything unraveled? Back at their boutique coffee bar, Lauren replayed every moment with Ryan. The forced smiles, the hurried excuses, the coldness behind his eyes. He had always been smooth, charming, but lately, distant. She remembered the way he'd brushed off her questions about their travel plans, the way his phone buzzed nonstop when he thought she wasn't looking. "Just work stuff," he'd said, but the way he hid the screen told a different story. She sat alone, tracing the rim of her cold brew, the bitter taste matching the knot tightening in her chest. How had things spiraled so fast? Was her trust misplaced? And if so, what did that mean for them? And for her? Later, she found Ryan packing with unusual urgency, his usual casual vibe replaced by tense focus. "Change of plans," he said, eyes avoiding hers. "Work emergency. I have to leave tonight." Her heart sank. "Tonight? But our train is tomorrow." His answer was clipped, rehearsed. "Yours is still tomorrow. Mine got moved. No seats together." Something in her chest twisted. Guilt? Fear? Or something darker? Lauren looked at him. Really looked, and for a split second she saw it. A flicker of something he couldn't hide. A secret. A lie. But what? And why now? She swallowed hard. The city lights blurred around her. This was more than travel chaos. This was a crossroads, and Lauren was running out of time. Would she confront the truth, or let it slip away, lost in the shadows of doubt? Lauren stood in the dim hotel hallway, her fingers digging into her palms. A cold weight settled deep inside her chest. Ryan's footsteps receded behind the door, swallowed by silence, the kind that speaks louder than words. Outside, the city hummed softly, the distant clink of cups from the boutique coffee bar, laughter drifting faintly from a nearby plaza. The scent of warm pastries mixed with the crisp evening air, but none of it reached her. All she felt was that gnawing doubt. Had she really just let him walk away? Or did he shove her out? Could one night change everything? Was this the moment their story split forever? The hours before this had been a storm of small fractures. Ryan's hurried, half-hearted apology still echoed in her mind. Rain tapped rhythmically against the glass, each drop a reminder of things left unsaid. Lauren traced her finger over the ring, barely gripping her finger, a symbol unraveling quietly, invisibly. What if this night was the final thread? What if whatever he was about to say would shake her world to its core? She remembered how it started, those sharp, casual barbs Ryan threw like knives hidden in jokes, the way her worries became jokes, the way her feelings faded into background noise. Slowly, she'd begged for respect, for truth, but silence met her every time. Then there was Marco, an unexpected kindness, quiet strength without demands. Not a rescue, simply a mirror showing what she'd lost. "Do you really think things can change?" he had asked softly. She couldn't answer then. Now, standing here, soaked in doubt, she had to. Her breath caught. The door creaked. Ryan's voice trembled beneath the weight of what he wanted to say, desperate, soft. But Lauren had made a choice. This wasn't about him anymore. It was about her. Quietly, with steady resolve, she said, "You're right. I'm not coming back." She ended the call. The line went dead. Outside, the rain eased. The city held its breath. Lauren stepped forward, away from Ryan, away from what she thought she knew, toward a future she'd have to carve alone. Earlier, the cracks first showed, right after Ryan Porter's message came through. "Can't we call the airline to fix it?" she asked, voice tight with hope. "I already tried everything," he said, quick, too quick. "Look, it's just one night. You can handle one night alone in San Francisco, right? Think of it as a mini solo adventure." His words scraped against her nerves, coated with a quiet mockery, like her concern was a joke. She'd seen this side of Ryan Porter before. That way, he made her worries feel trivial, even childish. "I don't get why we can't fly back together," she pressed again. After a long pause, he finally looked at her. The look in his eyes hit her, cold, distant. "God, Lauren, you're so clingy. Can't you do anything by yourself? It's one night. You'll survive." Clingy? The word slammed into her heart like a fist. She wasn't clingy. She was scared. Scared he was ready to leave her stranded without answers. "Fine," she whispered, voice barely steady. "If you have to go, go." Ryan Porter's face lit up like he'd scored some secret win. "That's the spirit. You'll have a great time. Maybe visit that little church you kept talking about." As she watched him zip up his suitcase, questions flooded in, relentless. Why hadn't he mentioned this work emergency earlier? Why was he so eager to leave? And why did her gut scream that Ryan Porter wasn't telling her something important? The next morning, Lauren woke to a phone buzzing with messages, sent at strange hours during the night. Still foggy with sleep, she opened them. "Made it to Phoenix. Thanks for being so understanding about the work thing. Hotel breakfast was terrible compared to that cafe in San Francisco. Hope you slept well. Can't wait to hear about your last day." Then one more, just 2 hours ago. "It was so funny. You should have seen your face when I said there was a work emergency. Classic. Her breath caught, cold dread blooming fast. Was everything she'd felt a lie? How deep was the secret Ryan Porter was hiding? And if this was just the beginning, what truth would come next? Lauren stood just outside the embassy's towering glass doors, her palms slick with sweat. The sharp scent of rain lingered in the air, mixing with the faint rustle of leaves behind her. Around her, the city's usual clamor faded into a dull hum, swallowed by the weight pressing on her chest. She tried to steady her breath, slow and even, but inside, her thoughts raced wild. Marco's calm presence was a small anchor, yet her mind pulsed with one relentless question. Would her story be enough? Could she finally unravel the mess her marriage had become? Or would the officials send her back into uncertainty, alone with her doubts? The consular officer glanced up, eyes unreadable. Time seemed to freeze. Lauren held her breath. Marco didn't waste a second. "Let's focus on what matters," he said, voice steady but kind. "Tomorrow we hit the embassy early. Then we check train options. Tonight, you rest. This is heavy. What happened to you?" The next morning, Marco was right on time, portfolio in hand, confidence in his smile. He'd spent the night digging into embassy rules, airline policies, even emergency travel loans, things Lauren had never even heard of. "This isn't uncommon," he explained as they walked toward the building. "Lost passports, medical emergencies, family issues like yours. The embassy has protocols." His English was smooth, just tinged with an accent that reminded Lauren she was far from home. Yet every step he took was sure, every detail covered. When the consular officer seemed dismissive at first, Marco stepped in, firm but respectful, switching to rapid Italian. Suddenly, the officer's attitude shifted completely. "What did you say?" Lauren whispered later. Marco smiled faintly. "The truth. That your husband abandoned you, that you've been married 3 years, that this is no joke, but a serious betrayal. Here, family problems demand serious solutions." After the embassy, Marco insisted on lunch at a tiny trattoria, hidden from the tourist crowds. For the first time in days, Lauren laughed, genuinely, as Marco shared stories from his years guiding travelers. "You have to understand," he said, waving a fork, "tourists come with all kinds of expectations." Lauren looked out the window, the rain now a soft patter on the street. Maybe, just maybe, this was the beginning of a new chapter. But would it be one where she finally found her voice? Or would the shadows of doubt still follow her home? The warm light from the candle flickered softly, casting shadows on the worn wooden table. Marco's eyes held a kindness that felt almost revolutionary. Not like Ryan Porter's possessive cling, the way he expected gratitude just for basic respect. Marco's kindness was pure. No strings, no silent demands. My phone buzzed again. Ryan's name, each message more desperate than the last. "This isn't funny anymore. Marianne, you need to come home. People are asking where you are. I told work you extended the trip, but you can't stay forever." Every word stripped away the mask I'd worn for years. He wasn't worried about me. He was worried about the story people would tell if I stayed away too long, about how it'd look. One night, at that tiny family spot tucked in a quiet San Francisco alley, Marco asked what I'd been avoiding. "Your husband expects you to come back to him after this?" I set my wine glass down, fingers trembling. "He thinks it's a joke, that I'll forgive him and forget like nothing happened." "And you? What do you expect?" For the first time in forever, I didn't have an answer. A week ago, I'd have said I needed to go home, to fix us. But now I'm wondering if I've been fighting to save something that was already broken beyond repair. Marco reached out, his hand steady, warm. "Marianne, I have to tell you, these days, with you, they're the best I've had in a long time. I know it's complicated, but you deserve to hear that." Looking into his eyes was like finding a door I thought locked forever. A glimpse of being seen. Really seen. Not as a problem to solve. Not as a secret to hide. But as someone who deserves real love. That night, as rain whispered against the window pane, I finally knew what I had to say to Ryan. Lauren stands in the dim kitchen, phone trembling in her hand. Ryan's half-formed apology hangs in the air, echoing against the old cabinets. Outside, rain taps against the glass, each drop like a whispered accusation. The scent of wet pavement drifts in, mixing with the cool night air. Shadows spill beneath the back door, stretching like doubts she's tried to ignore. Her heart pounds, drowning out the quiet. She stares at the ring on her finger, imagining it slipping off, falling, disappearing. What if nothing he says tonight changes how utterly alone she feels? What if this is the end? Or, what if Ryan is about to tell her something she never saw coming? The silence feels heavy. Lauren exhales slowly, the weight of years pressing down. Ryan's voice breaks through again. Soft, nervous, begging for forgiveness. But she remembers the long nights of quiet criticism disguised as jokes, the constant teasing that left her doubting herself, questioning reality, the exhausting effort to get even a shred of respect from someone who saw her as just a game. "Work this out," she whispers to no one. What life together, when every day was a battle to be heard, to be seen? She thinks about Marco, the stranger who showed her kindness without conditions. A quiet warmth she hadn't known in years. Not a replacement, just truth. He asked her once, "Do you really believe things can change?" She had no answer then. Now she does. The truth was buried beneath the fear, beneath the rain. Lauren reaches for the door, the cold draft chasing the doubt away. Ryan pleads one last time, his voice broken, desperate. But Lauren knows this isn't about him anymore. It's about her, about reclaiming herself from the cage of lies and silence. "You're right," she says quietly. "I'm not coming back." She hangs up, the line cutting through the growing calm like a final, irrevocable choice. Outside, the rain slows, the night shifting. Lauren steps forward, not to Ryan, not to Marco, but to the uncertain, unfolding road ahead. Alone, maybe, but finally free. In the days after Lauren walked away, the fallout hit hard, especially for Ryan. His coworkers expected some wild, funny story. Instead, they got the truth. He had stranded his wife in California, canceled her train ticket, and left her completely alone. The whispers spread fast. What started as disbelief twisted into disgust. At his marketing firm, HR opened an investigation when several colleagues said his actions made them uncomfortable. Suddenly, Ryan wasn't just a guy with bad jokes, he was someone people couldn't trust. Friends and family turned away, seeing the cruelty hidden behind the mask of harmless fun. The divorce moved fast. Lauren's lawyer pulled up texts where Ryan bragged about the stunt like it was some trophy. His apologies? They sounded even colder, more immature. The judge wasn't fooled. Financially, he was hit with the full cost of her emergency arrangements, extended stay, and legal fees. In their Phoenix community, Ryan's name became a quiet warning, a reminder how far someone could fall when they crossed the line. 6 months later, the morning sun warmed the terrace of the cozy bed and breakfast Marco and Lauren had opened together in the rolling California hills. Sitting there, Lauren felt the weight of all that had passed, the betrayal, the heartbreak, the fight to reclaim herself. What had seemed like the worst betrayal became the key to her freedom. Pain turned into truth, and heartbreak into something real, a love built on respect, kindness, and hope. Ryan's twisted prank? It didn't break her. It led her to who she was meant to be.